So then we are back with more understandings from the time of the Second Tabernacle services, where we find in the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Israelic lineage. So then we find understandings of the time of the end. As per then Yeshayahu, the 61st chapter, you begin to understand then in layers. So the layer of understanding of the time of restoration starts with the 61st chapter. And then the Messiah himself, while he was completing the spring feast, making then the shadow prophetic events, as you find then in Hebrews 10, then you find also many areas of the time of restoration. So then, during this time where the nations are coming together and finding themselves in this new time, however, known in the past, then it is very imperative. Understanding, for instance, a person can say whatever he or she wants. Doesn't have to have caution with words related with trade or economics. The reason why is because we already know the future. We already know then the Chinese system is coming. We know that each nation then would have to have a system simultaneous with the Chinese system to gather taxes. So you can say whatever you want as far as economics is concerned, as long as you have then the system implemented in a country where you remove taxes every time there is a transaction related with earning. You don't have to be cautious anymore as during the time of the deceit. During the time of the deceit, it has no directives. If you would say the wrong word at the wrong time, you ended up in the wrong place. But it's no longer this way. After then the time of deceit, we've entered the time of restoration and reduction of time, pointing us then for the autumn feast. So then you don't have to be cautious with what you say then in the government, as long as you have then the system set and then obviously gathering the taxes every time there is earning. Then people obviously should try to stay away from religion while doing the work. So then they can focus then in what has to be done as per Gentile level. Leave the tabernacling and what is holy for tabernacling use. Whatsoever was taught out there during the time of deceit is not valid. However, it is your choice. You can religionize, a person might say, your work environment, but then mixes areas where they should not be mixed. You can be very objective, very simple, as long as your plan of tax gathering then is clear. If this situation then is taken care of, then each nation would have then a simultaneous system when the Chinese system then is implemented. You've got 36 months to get the work done. It's quite an awful long time. For those people who are then computerized and those people with knowledge of computers, they can come up with systems very quickly. However, each kind of earning, some governments, they tend to have some understanding of some earnings versus the other earnings. For those people who are simple in the straight, earning is earning. If you earn, you should pay tax. Then the computer removes it and then goes to the government. People don't have to be concerned anymore. Because the future, a lot of people, they won't be going to work regularly and earn money as they are earning each to his own country. They're going to earn online. An online system is worldwide of the Chinese system, where they're going to be doing investment and they're going to receive from the worldwide system outside of the country's monetary system. That's why if you don't have this system simultaneous with these Chinese system coming in the future, then how are you going to take taxes from the people? Because you can't violate privacy. As you understand, banking is private. As you understand, for instance, PayPal is private. Though they have a database where the government could ask for some details, but most of the time it's private. You can be nosing around somebody else's information in the computer. And then after 36 months comes the Chinese system, and then countries are unprepared. But then people, they are not going to give a couple of rips. When the system is available and there is money in the internet and the market, they're going to download the system in their computers. They are going to be earning money. They can be sure of it. They are not going to be very excited to pay taxes. This means if the system is not then filtered prior of this time, you can say, bye to the taxes. And then implementing afterwards is going to be a real problem. So, after the country systems are in place, awaiting then for the Chinese system to come, then they have an idea how to make tiny adjustments. If countries are caught unawares when a system comes, then they are effed. Starts with F, ends up with ED at the end of it. So let's try not to be punctilious as far as what we say, but what do we do? Is the system implemented? Are they taking taxes at real time, instantly, when the person is then earning in the system? Because you have to pay tax 6%. Has to be real time. The government should have a computerized system where anytime there is a transaction via a financial system, instantly takes the taxes and then goes to the government. And when they receive the database in the computer of the government, there is the ID number. At the end of the year, when you file your taxes, they already have a copy of it. The only section you have to be concerned with, if you then have charity and those kinds of secondary situations. But then as far as your earnings, those are taken instantly. Simple but complex at the same time. Simple understanding, simple content. As far as the actual system, then the government has to do the work. Lay people are not interested in how the details are going to be playing as far as how they are going to take taxes from people. But then the details and the technicality part of it, then the government has to get to work. Because there are non-legals, some of them never pay taxes and earning huge amount of money. And the government oblivious. Any transaction in the system done via banking or private institution, financial institution, is tracked. There is an earning, the government takes 10% or 5% or any percentage they may think it would be required. So the person then is tracked. As far as what they do with the person, that's another situation. That's for the naturalization department to deal with. Most of these people, they are using somebody else's name anyway. But then, using somebody else's name is removed the taxes anyway. So even if a person is a scoundrel, half a scoundrel, or entirely scoundrel, then the system is not concerned with it. The system is concerned where then taxes are taken. And then they scandalize the people, then they deal with the police or then naturalization service, whatsoever is required for the moment, as long as then the government earns its money. So as long as you have secured then the system in your own countries, then you can say whatever you want. Because then the system is self-adjusted. And no hacker is going to be involved with it because their own banking is involved with it. So then computer people hacking banking of somebody else, they get caught very fast. So then lots of work to do. But nations, they have 36 months to get the job done. IMF was deadly serious when they were speaking of a couple of years ago. And then as far as we understand it from our USA government, they are expecting civil war. Place over there in Ozark, underground facilities, FEMA camps. Huge amount of money spent because they don't understand the future. But at the moment they understand the future. And as long as then the citizens, they reverse the situation and then work on the system, make sure it's done in real time. They catch people being legal, non-legal, whosoever is earning is paying taxes, legal or not. Because sometimes these people that are non-legals, they do work on a computer earning in somebody else's name. They are only using then the technical part of a non-legal to do the legal work. Well, that's okay. As long as the system is there, they are earning, they are paying for it. They can have 10,000 non-legals as long as the government is covered with their share of it. And then later, the naturalization service has to deal with the problem. But then it's not part of the government. It's another department of the government. So please stay tuned. Much more coming up.